Welcome everyone. In my presentation, I will talk about introducing Squareline Studio version 2. My name is Gábor Kisvámosi, and I'm the author of the LVGL library. I published it in 2016 on GitHub, and since then I'm leading its development as well. In 2020, I have established my company called LVGL LLC. With this company, we are doing some UI-related services like UI development and consulting. And we need this company just to have a legal background for the open source LVGL library as well. In the presentation, I will introduce you LVGL itself, the current version of Squareline Studio, which is version 1, the new version of Squareline, and of course, I will talk about our future plans as well. Let's start with LVGL. So LVGL stands for Light and Versatile Graphics Library. So it's a graphics library which helps you to create impressive user interfaces on resource-constrained embedded devices as well. It's a full-featured solution. It comes with more than 30 built-in widgets like charts, keyboards, sliders, bars, drop-downs, and basically you can find all the widgets in LVGL that you can see in an Android or an iOS application. It comes with a powerful style and layout system as well. These are inspired by CSS. CSS is the styling scheme of the web pages, so the same concept which makes the web pages so powerful and versatile is available on LVGL as well. It comes with a powerful typography support too, which supports many languages. It includes the Asian languages like Japanese, Korean, or Chinese, the Asian and Persian languages, including right to left and left to right writing directions, and of course, all the Latin-like languages as well. It's a free and open source solution, which is fully available on GitHub and distributed under MIT license. In the practice, the MIT license means that you can use the software in a commercial project as well. You only need to add a sentence in your documentation, user guide or README, stating that we have used LVGL in our project to create the user interface. And that's it. You can use LVGL for free in any project. I can proudly say LVGL is a quite popular solution. It's downloaded in every minute from GitHub, and it's already supported by the leading vendors of this industry. LVGL runs on basically on any modern device. It includes any microcontroller, any microprocessor with normal or real-time operating systems or bare metal as well. And you can drive OLED, monochrome, e-paper, TFT displays, or even monitors with it. On this slide, you can see a few UIs that we have created with LVGL and Squareline Studio. If you click on this link, it will open our website, which is lvgl.io, and in the demos menu, you will find something more interesting. These are interactive examples, so you can click on these buttons and try out how an LVGL UI looks like in the practice. So on this first demo, we call it widgets demo because it shows most of the widgets of LVGL with a default style. So if you create a button, it will look like this. For example, the scroll bar of the pages look like this by default. So if you just create a few widgets, they already have a nice appearance. Here we have a slider, some switches, a text area and a virtual keyboard. This text area is a password version. Here you can pick a date. Here you can check out some charts. This one is a line chart. This is a bar chart. And some meters after that. And on the third tab, we have some other charts and some lists. This nice scrolling behavior with this momentum and elastic scrolling at the end is working out of the box in LVGL. You can also change the main color of this theme with one click. The second UI is an example UI for an e-bike. It was created in our UI editor tool called Squareline Studio without writing a single line of code. So this whole UI was put together only by a designer. The third one is a smartwatch. It was also created in Squareline only by a designer. Yeah, that's it. We have some more demos here. You can check out all these later if you wish. A few words about our services. So with LVG LLC, we are doing various kinds of services to make the UI development simpler for you. First of all, we are doing a graphics design. It means you can just send us some layouts or hand-drawn screens, or just describe what you want to see on your final user interface. And our designers can develop beautiful screens for you, considering the limits of your hardware. We can also implement the UIs that we have designed, or we can also work based on the designs that you have provided. Besides that, we can help you with optimizing your drivers. If you have any questions with GPUs, DMA, caching, or other things, how to buffer the rendered images or things like these, you can contact us and we can talk about all these questions. We are doing a general consulting service as well. So if you have graphics designers, UI developers, and hardware experts as well, you might still have questions about how to implement things, how to solve specific issues, how to approach a problem, what are the best practices. So if you have questions like these, you can also contact us and we can talk about all your issues. And finally, we are doing a board certification service. It's for board manufacturers who create displays and boards together and sell it to their customers. These board manufacturers can send their devices to us. We run a benchmark demo on them, and record a video, write a blog post, and publish the results. This way, the users can compare all the boards that we have certified in a fair comparison, because all these demos are running the same. All these boards are running the same demo, so it's easy how they perform compared to each other. If you would like to use LVGL in the Espressif ecosystem, you can do it very easily because LVGL is available in Espressif Component Manager. I can proudly say that it's the second most downloaded component with more than 300,000 downloads. Let's continue with Squareline Studio. So Squareline Studio is the official visual drag-and-drop UI editor of LVGL. Its main purpose is to make the UI development faster and simpler. Using Squareline Studio, even a designer can create fully functional UIs. Our goal was to make it possible for the designer to create as much things as possible in Squareline Studio and leave only the application logic, the API, the business logic, and the real programming stuff to the software developers. Squareline Studio comes with a flexible licensing. First, you can try it out in a 30 days of trial period. After that, you can use it for free for personal purposes, or you can choose or you can choose from our cost-effective subscription plans for professional business use cases. The first version of Squareline Studio was released more than a year ago in 2022 February. Since then, we have more than 30,000 users, and it's already used by very large companies with billion-dollar revenue range. Instead of just talking about the main features of Squareline Studio, I'd like to show it to you in the practice. So this is the software. Here you can create a new project, or you can load an example. I will use this 3D printer to demonstrate what you can do with Squareline. Just click the Create button. Wait a few seconds while it's being created. Okay, so here you can see the screens of this user interface. And if you go to the project settings, you can see that now the target for this UI is some desktop environment. However, you can easily change it to Espressif, select a development board like this one for S3, click the Apply Changes button, and that's it. Now if you export a project, it will work on the selected development board. So you can change the target board at any time during the development. Okay, let's see what we can do with SquareLine Studio. First of all, what you can see here is a pixel perfect preview. So the UI that you design in SquareLine will look exactly the same on the target hardware than what you see here. If you click on these widgets, they are selected and their position can be changed. However, if you click this play button, the UI will be interactive immediately. You don't have to compile it, start it as a separate application. You can just click on this play button and try out the UI. As you could see, the animations were played, and now this button is active. So if I click on it, it will load the new screen, play the animations again, and we can just try out our UI. Similarly to the other UIs that we have seen with SquareLine Studio, this one was also created only by a designer. Okay. The things that you can do with SquareLine Studio are organized into these panels. So we have the widgets panel here, where you can see the basic building blocks of your UI. You can choose an arc, button, image, label, panel, tab view, text area, calendar, and many others to build up your UI. We also have a hierarchy panel where you can see the structure of your user interface. As you can see here, you can see the widgets in a nested hierarchy. So a parent widget can have children, and those children can have adult children, and so on. On the right-hand side, we have the inspector panel, where you can change the name of the widget, some layouts and coordinate-related properties. You can change the alignment. Here we have some flags to make the widget hidden or visible, clickable or not clickable, and some other options like these. Below that, you can set the state of the widget. For example, a widget can be checked and disabled or focused, and any combination of these. For example, a checkbox can be checked and disabled at the same time, which is really a valid use case for these combined states. Below that, you can change the properties of the given widget type. Right now, this label is selected, so we can see the label-related properties here. To change the text, you can just write something new here. Below that, we have the style section, where you can apply some new styles to change the appearance of the widget. For example, if I want to add some background here, I need to open the background section. I will pick a color from here, some lighter blue. Let's adjust it a little bit. I can add some radius as well. All these are rendered in real time by LVGL under the hood, so you don't have to use images for all these effects, but you can set them dynamically and also change them dynamically as the UI is running. We can add some space between the edges and the content, and also change the color of the text. Something like that. I'd like to show you another important thing in the first version of SquareLine Studio, and these are the components. Typically on every UI, there are items which are used multiple times. For example, this button is used here, but it's used on the next screen, and here as well, and here as well, so many places. If you just create these buttons one by one and you need to change something, it would be very boring and time consuming. Instead, you can just create this button once. I show it in the hierarchy. So we have the button here and we have a label on it. Once you have created this small group of widgets, you can convert them to a component. The components that you have created are shown here. So for example, we have this button component here. And now you can create any instances, any number of instances of this component. Moreover, if you click this Edit Component button, and you change a style here, for example, the color of this label, let's make it blue. And if you save the component and go to the next screen, you can see that it's updated here as well. And of course, on this screen as well. So it's super easy to change the appearance and the content of these components. Once you have created your UI, of course, you can export it. You can create a template project. If you have selected an Expressif development board, it will create a ready-to-use project for the development board, or you can just export the UI files. These UI files that you can export are platform independent. These are just simple C files containing LVGL function calls, and of course your UI as well. So you can export these files into any project. You can put together your custom project on any hardware, and you can select a folder where these UI files will be exported. Okay, that's it about the first version of SquareLine. Oh, just one more thing. On the launcher screen where we have created the project, you can also select the development boards directly. So you can start a new project on a given development board. But as I mentioned, you can change the development board during the UI development process as well at any time. Let's continue with the second version of SquareLine Studio. Again, instead of just talking about the changes, I'd like to show it to you in the practice. Okay, so this is the second version of SquareLine Studio. You might immediately notice two things. The first is that it's running in a browser. While the first version was a normal desktop application, the second version of SquareLine Studio can be opened in any web browser. This way, you can edit your user interfaces from any places, and you can access to all the assets, all the projects, anywhere you are. The other thing that you probably noticed is that the style and the design of the new version has been completely changed. We have optimized it a lot. We made it a lot cleaner and easier to use. You can still see this play button. So this instant play mode is still available. And here we have a pixel perfect preview again. So what you will see here will be exactly the same as it would look like on the target hardware. You can also change the position of these panels to customize your workplace. You can, for example, move this terminal here, and the screens panel, let's see here. Let's move it back for now. The widgets are moved to this top bar. So you can just select a widget here. Let's say we want to select an arc. On the inspector panel here, you can easily align it to the center. And if you click the play button, you can just try it out. Okay. I will delete this arc. And now I will show you how to put together a nice UI and also show you the great features of SquareLine Studio version 2. Here we have created a few assets to get started with. You can just select all these and drag them into this assets panel. I drag this image to the screen to create it, align it to the center. This will be our reference, so this will be the UI that we want to put together right now. Let's create a new screen. And add the background image to it. Align it to the center. And let's continue with this panel. We will get started with a panel widget. I will try to set roughly the same size. And now we need to change its style. Let's go to the styles panel. And here you can see that we have the local styles. These local styles are applied only on the given widget. In Squareline Studio version 1, only this option was available. However, in the new version, you can create new styles by clicking this button. We have this new style. Let's change its name to gray panel, for example. And let's add it. To this gray panel, we can add some style parameters or style properties. We want to change the background color, the background radius, and by default, this panel has some border, so we need to set the border width as well. The border width is 0 by default, so when we add it, it will remove the border automatically. By clicking on this color, you can just pick a color for this panel. Let's pick it from the background. Okay, and let's change the opacity a little bit. Okay. And set some radius. All right, let's create some labels. 1, 2, 3, and move these labels into the panel. Now, if you move this panel, all its children will move with it as well. Okay, let's select the first label, change its text. It should be temperature. And here, let's create a new style. Let's call it white text. And the only style property that we will add is the text color. So text color. Let's change it to white. And now our label is white. We will try the local style properties as well. As you can see, the label on the reference image is a little bit larger. So as a local style, we will add the text font. And here in the list, we can select the fonts that we have added here. We will use the subtitle font. Oh, sorry. We will use the title font here. Okay, let's continue with the second label. Now we have this white text style, so we select and add it, and now it's white. As a local style, we will add the font again. It will be the big number. This font only contains the numbers, so we need to use numbers here. This way you can save some memory by using only the required characters. in the font. And finally, for the date, we are in the future, so the year is 2455. Okay. Let's add the white text again. And for the local styles, the font. It's a little bit overflowed. You can see the scroll bar here. So we can just arrange the labels a little bit. Okay. And now the great thing is that as we have used this white text style for each label, if you change the color of this white text style, all the labels are changing. Okay, let's put together this fancy button. We will get started with a button widget. Let's center it horizontally. Put it to the bottom. Okay. Let's add the label to it. Center this label. Change its text. And let's start styling this button. We will create a new style again. Let's call it button. Edit. And let's add some parameters here. We need to change the background color again, the background radius. We will add some shadow. You can see that this reference button is like glowing. We will add the shadow color, shadow width, and shadow spread. For the color, we will use a gradient. You can just click here to create a gradient. Let's make it vertical. Here you can adjust where the colors should start. Let's make them start from the end. And for the first color, let's pick this blue from here. And for the second color, this purple from here. Let's make it a little bit more saturated. All right, and make it a little bit transparent. Let's set some radius and add the shadow. Let's use this color, make it spread, and now it's glowing. We can also change the text style on the button because the labels will inherit the properties from here. So we can add some properties like these, the text color, let's make it white, and use the subtitle font. And here it is. Now if you create a new button, and add the style to it, like this button style, it will look like this. So it's easy to create similar looking widgets this way. And that's it very briefly about Squareline Studio version 2. Just a few words about our future plans. We are planning to release the second version of Squareline at the end of this year, but it will still support some great features like real-time collaboration. This way, multiple designers and developers can use and work on the same UI. It's the same concept that Figma is using. Figma is a very popular UI prototype development software. So you can people can just open the same URL. Some people might have write access, they can edit the UI. Some others might have only read access. You can also invite people to show them your UI. We will also add an animation timeline. So it's an animation editor where you can put together complex animations easily. We will also add an image editor. It will be like a simple Photoshop where you can manage your image assets or create your image assets in a central place without leaving Squareline Studio. And finally, we are planning to add a visual script engine, so it will be easy to put together complex logic for your UI in a visual way. This way, even designers can do more and can add more logic into their user interface. And that's it. Thank you very much for your attention.